Thank you for joining us today. The case for legal ticketing, Legisway user stories, will begin shortly. For the best viewing experience, please close any unnecessary programs or browsers, clear your browser cache, and make sure you have a strong internet connection. Before the presentation begins, please be aware the audio for this webcast is through the internet only. Use headphones or listen to this presentation through your laptop or mobile speakers. This is a one-way communication channel. You can hear us, but we cannot hear you. If you do have any questions, please use the Q&A widget. If you look around your screen, there are multiple widgets for your use. The first widget you'll see is Help, which can help you if you are having audio issues or slides aren't advancing. The Slides widget displays the PowerPoint presentation. This and all the windows can be customized and resized to your preference. The Media Player plays the audio and video, including today's demo. The next widget you'll see is Q&A. You can use this button to type in any technical questions. For content-related questions, we'll do our best to answer them in the Q&A during the presentation. To learn more about today's presenters, click Speaker Bio. Resources provides handouts, including slides and supplemental material on today's topic. I am now pleased to hand the presentation over to Michelle Alwyn. Michelle?
Thank you, Daniel. So welcome everybody to the Legisway webinar, The Case for Legal Ticketing. My name is Michelle Alwyn, and I am the product owner for Legisway US, as well as an associate director of product management at Wolters Kluwer. I'm joined today by my colleague, Stephanie Allison. She is part of our customer success and training team. So the agenda for today's webinar is a couple of things. We'll spend a few minutes on some introductory comments. Then we will cover 2 customer use cases, and we will provide a legal ticketing overview and demo. So we'll do a little tag teaming here between myself and between Stephanie, talking about legal ticketing and then showing it to you as well. We'll have time at the end if questions are in the chat where we'll try to answer them for you. If we're not able to get to any questions, no worries, we can follow up after the fact as well. So if you do much reading about sort of legal technology at all from Gartner and other analysts that are out there, you know there's a lot of discussion about making sure that the technology that you align with actually meets the pain points that you're suffering through. And I think legal ticketing is a particularly interesting one. Legal ticketing is really designed to streamline requests from the business, enhance collaboration across your organization, increase visibility, and also provide data-driven KPIs. So if these are some of your goals or pain points, I think legal ticketing is a great thing for you to think about. If it's done right, a legal ticketing system improves the workflow for both the legal department and the business users alike. So it's really a win-win for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and move into our first customer use case. So our first customer that we're going to highlight has a smaller corporate legal department. The corporate legal department is about 2 people, really. So a general counsel and another legal professional. The revenue of the company right around $500 million. And when we talked about the challenges that they were facing and what actually kind of brought them to legal ticketing, they shared a few things. The company was growing quite a bit. And as companies grow, the legal department doesn't necessarily grow at the same rate as the burden does, of course. So requests from the business to the legal department were becoming unmanageable. It was also becoming really difficult, they said, to enforce the processes that they really wanted to leverage. There was limited visibility into sort of requests and results, and they found just generally collaboration with the business kind of challenging. They were using email quite a bit, and that made tracking really difficult to see sort of whether it was the volume of the requests or really where they were in the process. They did have a legal ticketing system from another provider, and they ultimately found that to be too complicated. I think that we hear a lot about adoption of technology, and we need to make sure that whatever that solution is something that people feel comfortable using and they can adopt it. So the desired solution, really what they wanted to get themselves to, was a solution that would help them enforce business processes, streamline communication throughout the business, increase visibility, and simplify the process overall. So ultimately, we're happy to say they chose Legisway. And a couple of things they shared about why Legisway was the right fit for them was that we have a very simple business portal for legal ticketing. That's something we're going to take a closer look at in a little bit. Their end users have communicated that they actually prefer legal ticketing with Legisway because of the simple nature of it. We also support reporting in a lot of different ways, including on complex negotiations, which they had a lot of, and they needed visibility into that process. They also shared that they found the searching to be robust and easier, so when they needed to look for something, they could always find it. And I think I stole their phrase earlier. They actually said that they found Legisway legal ticketing to be really a win-win. It was a win for the legal team and a win for the sales team. In their organization, the business users of legal ticketing are primarily the sales organization. So our next customer use case, the corporate legal department's a little bigger. I think overall upwards of 20 people in the corporate legal department, and the company revenue is a little over $2 billion. So they have a set of goals that they're looking for. They're not necessarily exactly the same as the first use case, but there is definitely some overlap. One of their goals is to improve the non-disclosure agreement process. So they wanted to have a process that allowed them to really enable that in a more automated way. They also wanted to improve the delivery of legal service levels and reporting and metrics. Reporting and metrics are particularly important to this organization. They also wanted to support business continuity. You need that sort of visibility into information in order to support business continuity. I think you can't have information siloed in different people's inboxes, if you will. They wanted to increase collaboration with their business, automate data entry, and really automate creations of documents as well. So those are the goals that this organization was looking for, or is looking for. The desired solution, so they called out a couple of key points here. NDA self-service, so really enabling the business to create these NDAs on their own. Also, contract process, standardization, and automation. And then they also wanted to be able to have a solution that would help them process other legal requests, not just contracts, because we know that the legal department does a lot more than just contracts. So why Legisway is a good fit? Legisway streamlines the intake. We have a dedicated dashboard for the legal team and a separate dedicated dashboard for the business users. This is something Stephanie's going to show us live and show us really what those two different dashboards or portals look like. Also, we enable self-service from legal templates, meaning that the legal department's NDA agreement form can be in legal ticketing and a business user can go and actually create that on their own. It stays in a place that's visible for the rest of the organization, so there's a benefit there. And it's integrated with e-signature. So not only can that business user create an NDA, for example, they can send it out for signature and have it automatically routed right back to Legisway. And then again, reporting was very important. They want to be able to demonstrate the value of what they're providing and allocate their legal resources accordingly. So we can see from those two different use cases, slightly different company sizes, slightly different legal department sizes, a lot about increasing visibility, some automation, and really collaboration with the business overall. And I think that that's a goal probably of any organization that's looking into something like legal ticketing. So as I mentioned, we're going to show you kind of two views of legal ticketing on Legisway. The first is what we call the business portal. And the business portal is just that. It is the access point for the business. So whoever in your business you might want to have access to input a request for the legal department would use this portal. Along the left, we're just giving you a little snapshot of the 5 kind of out-of-the-box types of tickets that you can get. And there's customization, of course, that can come with this as well. But there's contracts, there's contract change, there's self-service, there's even legal question and other matters. Again, going back to the idea that you may do more than just contracts, and Legisway certainly does. The feedback we've gotten from our customers, from the market, is that there's a couple of really key benefits of this particular business portal. One is that it's a really simplified interface, and you'll see that for yourself with Stephanie's demo. So we want to make sure that it's easy for that infrequent user to go in and make a request. That user also has continual and automatic visibility into the request status. So they've sent a request in. They don't have to ask anybody what the status is. They have a dashboard that gives them that visibility. They also have really easy access to the follow-up on that request and any associated documents, all within this dedicated portal. And then with self-service and even integrated e-signature, they can monitor that e-signature process, see the status, all right there in their portal. And then for those times when the form wasn't good enough and they have some additional questions, we have an in-system chat. So they can actually chat the legal department from this portal about a specific ticket that they have in mind. So what we'd like to do now is have Stephanie show you a demonstration of the legal ticketing business portal on Legisway. Stephanie?
Thank you, Michelle. Please let me know when you can see my screen and we'll go ahead and kick this off.
We can see it.
Perfect. So to begin, legal ticketing was designed to streamline the intake of requests from the business to the legal department. There are two views in legal ticketing, as Michelle mentioned. The business requester portal is what we are seeing now, and then there is the legal department view. As noted by the 5 blue tiles across the top of the screen, there are 5 unique types of requests. We have contract request, contract change request, self-service, legal questions, and other matter requests. Each tile, once selected, allows the business user to create a request via an intake form. Data should be helpful for the legal department and can be designed to meet the unique needs of your business. Fields with a red asterisk are required, and helper text can be added to field names to further clarify what information is being requested by the legal department on a particular field. Currently, we are in the contract request intake form. A contract request is a typical request that is sent by the user to the legal department to review third-party paper. You would fill out the intake form with basic information like title of the contract, a short description, when they need an answer by, the type of contract it is, and any important dates that they're aware of. From there, they can drag and drop the applicable document and send to the legal department for review. The next type of request is the contract change request. If you've submitted a contract for review and it's in negotiations, there is a back and forth discussion and applicable updates. From this submodule, you can link updates to a related contract request already in process. This is going to enable robust reporting. For example, it took 5 contract change requests before we reached an agreement. The next submodule we will review together is self-service, and we'll walk through this one all of the way. As an approved business user, users can add key factual information that is variable for a contract, identify a department, and create a contract from preloaded contract templates within Legisway. Users can merge data from the fact sheet into a template by selecting the merge function and selecting the merge template with the data that they should add it to. We'll add some key data here just to see how the process works. From this screen, you can add additional documentation if applicable, and the merge function will then be selected to choose the template you would like to create a document from. Here, we will see is a completed contract. We'll do a quick review before choosing our next action from the Actions menu below. You can send for e-signature or sign manually and upload the document to the legal department once the signature process is complete. This feature is helpful because it takes high volume, perhaps lower value documents like NDAs out of the hands of legal, but with the legal oversight and approval of the template. E-signature is available by selecting electronically sign, whatever my portal is, and then proceeding with the e-signature process. When the signature is gathered, it will route to the legal ticketing, so I can then send it to my Legisway repository automatically. We will now review legal questions. Legal question is a question to the legal department. You can organize and streamline the method of answering questions via this portal. It's simple. There's a customizable intake form available for the users to ask questions, provide an expected answer date, and submit to the legal team for review and response. The My Request view gives the visibility and transparency on the status of your request. It allows the business user to see all of the requests that have been created by the user, status, including any responses from the legal department, documents, and all linked matters. On my screen here, I can see where my signature process is. I can see chats that are available, items that have been approved, and there's no need to reach out on the status because you can see your status in the step field. Other matter requests are for all non-contract requests, like registration data, adding a new group company, etc. Michelle, I'll send it back to you.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. One thing that we haven't been looking at the larger Legisway, but one of the reasons why that other matter request is so important is within Legisway, we're really an all-in-one solution. So in addition to contract management, we have everything from IP to corporate management to invoices, cases, compliance, all those things. So if you have a request, as Stephanie pointed out, that's not a specific contract, that's the way to get that into the system as well. I'm going to go ahead and move us forward here and talk a little bit about what we call kind of the legal portal. So legal ticketing from the perspective of the legal users is a part of the larger Legisway. So all of the other modules and things that you might be doing in the system, fully integrated together. The business users see what Stephanie just showed you, that very sort of just focused, limited on their request, they're only seeing their information. Of course, the legal team is going to see much broader information. Now, the couple of things that we've gotten a lot of feedback on, the benefits really of the legal ticketing portal, is that it really streamlines requests and assignments. So I think you're going to see that in the demo that Stephanie gives you, that when something comes into the legal, it enters kind of a queue, really is the way I think of it, and it can be assigned to an individual, or a lawyer or professional can grab it themselves to work on. Any action that's taken within the legal ticketing portal actually notifies the business user as well. So you don't have to tell them, okay, I got your request, I'm working on it. The system is going to notify them automatically through that step column that Stephanie pointed out. Those self-service NDAs that the legal department is enabling, the ones that she showed you, the nice thing is, as the legal department, you're still going to have visibility into the fact that that NDA was created. So no more will you have to worry about whether or not we have an NDA with this other business or not. And then the in-system chat that she mentioned, way of communicating back and forth within Legisway, fully saved that conversation is and attached to that ticket. So you always have that full sort of background information. Also, one of the things that I think is the best about the legal ticketing view is what I think of as the single click conversion of the ticket. Once a ticket is taken in by legal and you're going to start working on it, whether it's negotiating the contract or starting a business registration or whatever, you can, with maybe a click and a drop down, take it out of ticketing and move it into the other part of Legisway where it's going to live. And then it's part of that repository, fully trackable, alertable, and all of those things. And then the last kind of key benefit is reporting. So, one of the benefits of a system like Legisway overall is your ability to report out on your legal information. It only does you so much good if you can't actually get it out or report on it. Well, you have that, of course, but you also have a lot of reporting within legal ticketing itself. We have a little image there, and I think that Stephanie's going to show you some more. But this does happen to be one of my favorite ones, which is kind of a pie chart that shows the breakdown of the type of tickets over a period of time. So you could start to get some of that data about your organization, the kind of work that you're doing, which might help, allocate resources and other kinds of things. So with that, I think, Stephanie, if you'd like to go ahead and give us a demonstration of the legal view of legal ticketing.
Absolutely. The legal ticketing view is a part of the larger Legisway environment. Selecting the Legisway ticketing module allows the legal department to use and view requests via the overview dashboard, as well as by ticket type in each submodule. The initial overview screen defaults to new requests. Here we see new requests to be assigned, and users navigate to the request by selecting the blue hyperlink within the overview report. Here you'll see the data provided by the business user for a contract request. I'll go ahead and click on that. It should also have our documentation attached. And we have success. The in-solution chat feature can be used to clarify any questions or updates needed for the request. If a user determines they have all the needed information to proceed, they will confirm receipt. This selection provides the business user with an update via email and an update to their dashboard view, indicating that the legal department has received the request. At that time, the request is then assigned to an editor. That editor will be in charge of reviewing and working through the ticket request. The editor would then either accept or refuse the request. Either acknowledgement will be sent to the business user via email to provide further updates on the request. If a ticket is refused, a box will appear so that the details regarding the refusal can be relayed to the business user. If you select Accept, the data from the contract request, along with any documents and any back and forth communication related to it, will transfer to a newly created contract matter. The Accept screen will require a contract type and an optional category for your new contract matter. You'll see that the contract draft matter appears with the data from the initial request. Documents from the ticketing request are also present. From here, the legal department user can modify the matter, adding additional details as needed. It's now a part of the contract repository for storage, alerts, and reporting. Assigning, accepting, and refusing selections are available across the contract request and contract change request screens. We'll move to legal questions. In legal questions, legal department users will see new questions presented by business users. Here, the legal department user views the question, any related documentation, and responds to the business user. Select, answer, and close to send a response to the user. First, I'll confirm receipt of this request, assign it to myself, and then answer the question. Once I provide the answer and select Answer and Close, it will send a response to the user, and the legal department user will retain a record of that completed work for future reporting. In this example, we provided a response, and we see that this ticket is now inactive. One of the benefits of Legisway as an all-in-one solution is that we support the legal department beyond contract. The other matter request submodule is dynamic and reflective of the Legisway subscription. So, for example, if you use the IP module, the other matter request ticket type can be used to transfer details from the business user's new patent to the legal department. We can input the patent information directly from this ticket into the Legisway IP module. In this demonstration, I'll confirm receipt of the request, assign to the legal department, and review. Once we accept, data from the ticket will transfer to the patent registration intake form. Additional required fields will be input by the legal department. I'll do that now so that we can save and see that it's now part of the contract repository, again for storage, alerts, and reporting. You'll see that the documents from that ticket are also available within my new draft document. Switching gears to reporting, KPI reporting capabilities are available in the legal department view. Here you will have access to average processing time, tickets by type and lawyer, and tickets by type. I want to highlight that these are dynamic reports and they can be customized to meet the needs of your organization. Michelle, with that, I will turn it back to you.
Great, thank you. Just a couple of comments I'd like to add. Thank you for that great demonstration, Stephanie. I think that, on the KPI reporting that you ended with, the reports that Stephanie highlighted are really our out-of-the-box Legisway legal ticketing reports. I point that out because they're just standard ones as examples. And what we're able to do through customization is pull forward really the data that you want to look at related to your legal ticket request. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, that Legisway provides a lot out of the box, but we also consult with our customers to find out what it is that you specifically want to track. I mentioned the pie chart that I particularly like, and we've gotten some really great feedback that one of the things that's nice about that is if for the first time your department is utilizing something like self-service NDAs, to be able to look at on a pie chart over the last 6 months that you had 100 self-service NDAs, you'd be able to pretty easily develop an ROI out of that. How much time did the legal department save, even if it's 10 minutes, even if you spend little time on NDAs normally, per 100, what you might have saved over that period of time. So some things like that, we work with you to figure out what it is that's most important for you to report on, whether it's type of contract or the speed with which you respond, that service level that you're providing to the organization. I think also just thinking about the fact that what legal ticketing can do for really any corporate legal department is standardize and normalize a process. And so do away with that requests and information coming at you from a lot of different places like emails, chats, and phone calls, and put them in a place where they can be tracked and managed in a more reasonable way. I think we can all relate to those times where you feel like there's a lot of stuff coming at you, distracting you from sort of doing other things within your job, and to have it streamlined in a way that you can manage it, I think is a big benefit. And what you're also able to do then is to ensure that you're getting the information that you need from the business in order to respond to their request, so that when you get that first request based on the intake form, that it's providing you with the data that you usually would need in order to answer their question, respond to their contract, or whatever else it might be. So a lot of that back and forth might be able to be resolved by us helping you design an intake form that captures the information that's most pertinent. We have really two spectrums, I would say, or we have a spectrum within our user base. Some like the legal departments like the ticketing request to be very, very simple. Just keep it basic from the business, send it to us, and we'll go from there. And some are really liking to capture a lot of that information up front. Either way, or any place in the middle is completely possible. And I would just like to add as well that coming a little bit later in the next couple of months, we're going to be adding our AI function to legal ticketing. So for that example that Stephanie gave you of third-party paper that's been submitted through a request, be able to streamline that process even more, because on the legal side of things, you could click Contract Analyze and have the AI read the contract, pull out all the dates, the key clauses, so you can look at that for that initial decision about accepting or assigning before you move it on. So looking always for additional ways that we can help you streamline this process and add value. When a ticket is assigned to another part within Legisway, which again is one of the benefits of Legisway, is that it's going to stay there in the system. All that data that was captured is transferred, and the ticket remains linked always to that matter. So you'd always be able to look back and see, how did this particular matter start, whether it's a contract request or something else. That ticket will always be there for you to look at if you need to. With that, we want to thank you for your time today. I don't actually see any questions in the chat that I can answer, but if I'm missing some, we will make sure to follow up with you all individually. But thank you for taking the time to meet with us today and to see Stephanie's demo of legal ticketing. If you're interested in more information, would like to see how legal ticketing might look in your organization, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to help and happy to talk about how we can work with you to make legal ticketing exactly what your corporate legal department needs. With that, I will pass it back to Daniel. Thank you, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you for that presentation, Michelle and Stephanie as well. Just one other thing that we want to note here before closing the webinar. To obtain a recording of the webinar, the link you received to log in today will be the same link that you'll want to go ahead and use for a playback of the webinar at a future date. And with that, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you in another webinar soon. Thank you.